Hi, Chase. Welcome back. I'm Dr. White, as you may remember. So last week we talked a lot about, your personal life, and we talked a lot about the relationships that you have with, your family, your friends, your boss, and even your employees. So that really took a lot of strength and courage to really open up to me and, tell me about all of those people and the relationships that you have with all of these people. So just wanted to let you know that. How has the past week been going for you?
Well, it's been okay. When we talked last week, a lot of my emotions and thoughts and feelings really came to the surface and really started to make me think about kind of everything that I've been through these past 3 months, as well as some of the stuff that I've been through to get to this point, I guess you could say. And I'm kind of just struggling a little bit with dealing with those feelings because they just all kind of came to the surface, like, not instantly, but they've been gradually, like, building and building. So I've been trying really hard to not spiral out of control and have this little hiccup ruin my progress.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you think maybe you could mention some goals that you have so you don't spiral out of control and that, you can just maintain at a level that just is going to keep you calm and, get you through the issues or the problems that you're facing?
Well, I know first and foremost that I would like to maintain a proper substance intake. I mean, that's why I'm here, and as much as I at first didn't want to be here, I'm really starting to see that, like, wow, I do have a problem and everything like that, and you can only go with that, you can only use that for so long as an excuse to hide from your problems and stuff. So really maintaining my intake for my medication and having a healthy and proper relationship with that, and also just kind of coming to terms with inner demons that I'm facing.
Okay. What, do you mind explaining a little bit maybe what inner demons you're having?
Well, I'm not 100% comfortable going too in depth about it, but like last week, I mentioned a lot about my family and how my cousins and I used to be really close, and my mom and my uncle used to be really close and everything, and how we'd always hang out with them. But I mean, there was something in the family that happened between my uncle and I that has really caused me some emotional damage and everything that it's just hard to deal with because it happened when I was 10 and under. And so, I don't know, it's just all happening now because I can actually understand what's going on, and I can actually think about why it happened and how it's kind of hurtful and kind of disgusting at the same time, because that was my uncle. Like, I hung out with my cousins, and everything like that, and their dad did that. Like, that's horrible and messed up. I don't know.
Well, I want you to understand that these emotions that you're having are completely normal and are completely expected, and that it's okay for you to feel one way one time and, another way another time and not understand it at all. So, you opening up to me and, telling me about all of this, even if it's not in depth, takes a lot of strength and a lot of courage, just like you were opening up to me last week about the relationships that you have with all of these people. And, that's such a huge step, and that's such a huge progress that you've made, and I want you to know and realize that you have made that huge step, and that's a huge, part of these sessions that we have with each other, and that, you are aware that this is so beneficial to, accomplishing some of these goals that you have set for yourself. So, just listening with you, I want to, double check that I'm understanding you. And so for me, what it sounds like, you're realizing and noticing that the prescribed medicine that you have, you're not taking regularly and at the necessary times. And so you're taking them when you feel either overly stressed or maybe, there's too much physical pain and you feel like the required amount just isn't enough. And so with all of these, combined physical and, mental, setbacks, you feel like this is a way that I can let that help ease the pain. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's definitely been one of my go-to methods of dealing with everything. I mean, aside from drinking and everything like that, but that I don't really do or anything because I personally don't like drinking at all. But it's definitely been a way to escape from everything, especially entering my 20s and it being such a confusing time in your life and stuff. And I don't know, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it anymore.
All right. Well, I mean, that's a lot going on, and especially like you said at this time, it's really hard. So, do you think that there may be a way that you can find another escape?
I mean, if you want an unhealthy, yeah, sure, but I mean, knowing that I do want to fight through this and actually get over these feelings or actually come to terms with these feelings and actually move on from them and find that closure, yeah.
Okay. So, it sounds like you realize that your way of escaping is maybe a bit more unhealthy and that you're trying to find a bit more physically and mentally healthier way of, escaping these, inner demons that you mentioned. So for me, I'm thinking a bit in the back of my head, maybe there are some resources for you. And I know of one called the Well Center, and that can be a huge help in many different areas because they have, outpatient programs for the substance intake. And there are also, counseling that you can still continue on doing. If you don't want to continue here, you can continue there.
Okay.
There are also, assessments, a mental health assessment that you can take.
Okay.
And, a lot of these programs are on your schedule. So if you have work, which I know that you do, or, you have a family event, or you have, anything else going on, you can set a schedule just like you have been doing with me to make sure that attending these programs and going to get this, help and going to this will help you, and so you can set these schedules. So, do you think that maybe using this resource would help in a healthy way?
I mean, probably, because you said it was more of like another counseling service?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, because then I can go on my own time, where I was mandated and I was forced to come here, and it's actually opened my eyes a little more, and I was very, very against coming and even trying to get help because I'm set in my ways. I mean, not so much anymore, but it takes time still, and I know that, and so yes, right now I still am set in my ways and my unhealthy ways, but I think if I do have all the resources I can gather and actually have people push me, encourage me, and actually make me feel like I'm worth something, I think that would definitely help me a lot more.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 100%. Like you mentioned, there is the counseling, and that'll help with, your inner demons like you mentioned. And then there's also helping with your substance intake so you can get back on a regular mandated schedule. So you can use that as, to solve the physical injury that you are currently having instead of using that as an escape. So the Well Center will be, I think, a good resource, and I'll give you the information for that and give you the phone numbers and the people that you can call if you have any questions, and you're welcome to call me as well, and I'll let you look more into that, and next week we can talk a bit more about kind of your thoughts on all of that.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. Well, the past 3 weeks we've talked a lot, and I want you to know that you've come a long way. Like you said, you've opened your mind and, became very open-minded with a lot of the goals and the personal issues and all of that. So I want you to know that your progression has been huge and you've come a long way, and I think that that's important that you notice that, because I've definitely noticed that with you. So I look forward to meeting with you again next week, and we can talk about your thoughts on the resources, and if you don't like it, then that is completely fine, and we can figure out something else that'll be beneficial for you. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
All right, well, I look forward to meeting with you next week. Thank you very much for coming in.